Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by The Old Ways Actual Play Team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game, Rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try hard to stick to reasonable languages for all ages, listeners should know that this is a podcast that may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., may bear resemblance to persons living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper.
Okay, I suppose introductions are in order. To my right, start us off.
This is Lonnie. I am again playing Lawrence Edward Oliver Forsyth, civil engineer who they tried to make go underground, and that's not good. I don't think they understand what it means to be buried alive. So.
And to your right.
I am Heather Ashcraft. I am playing Anastasia Edwina Fairchild, known as Stasi to her friends. I am by day, a columnist with some major Chicago publications. I am the brave companion to a lovely archaeologist assistant and all-around modern woman of the world.
Excellent. At the opposite end of the table, please.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle, private investigator, and we are now standing in a muddy field again.
Imagine that.
This is James. I'm playing Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach, the group physician and occasional voice of reason. I'm apparently still also standing in a muddy field, which is just fine with me because the alternatives are horrible.
Imagine that.
This is Tiffany. I am playing Maeve O'Shea. She is the one deciphering all the madness.
You do seem to be deciphering quite a bit of madness recently. So before we get started formally with this tonight's session, for those of you who are out listening to this session, we are playing in honor of Greg Stafford this evening. This is the 1-year anniversary of his passing. So in accordance with all of the remembrances and the releases that are going on with Chaosium, we want to remember him tonight for who he was as a person and who he was as a member of the industry. We thank him for what he did for all of us in some small way. So I'm going to start tonight with Dr. Tattenbach. You were crossing a muddy field recently. You were working your way back down towards this small building that you'd sighted from the back of the Holden house. And through the muddy field, you'd encountered some difficulty, and you'd asked Stasi to assist you because you already walked with the cane. And so crossing the muddy field wasn't exactly easy for you.
Not at all. I'm not exactly stable.
In so many ways, my darling.
And so, as you're walking across the field and you're seeing the fog and the steam from the meatpacking facilities in the distance, you become overcome with what you can only describe as a vision. In your mind's eye, you're overcome with a scene splayed out before you. You see two men, two African-American gentlemen, and they are hoisting a massive bowl up onto this slab. And on this slab, they hook various parts of its body, long metal gaffer hooks, and they hoist parts of it up, and they begin slowly slicing pieces of it off. And every time they cut a piece off, you see small, kind of tiny finger-like, what you believe might be reptiles, creep out of the skin and out between the ligaments and the joints. And as they cut these pieces off, one of the men takes the beef, he sets it on the conveyor belt nearby, and it slowly goes down the line to be packaged for consumption.
I'm going to go ahead and voluntarily vomit. That's really, I stop Stasi in the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
You stop.
No.
Doctor! Hey, doctor! Goodness. A bit too much of the hair of the dog?
Not at all. Not at all. I have... Oh, that was horrible. I have had a vision.
Doctor, you need a few minutes.
I do. I need to sit down for a moment. Is there anywhere to sit?
It's not so much,
You do your best at the moment to lean on her.
Here.
During this time, the rest of the investigation crew steps inside. You recover yourself after a time, but even as you're going in and out of the dizziness and the haziness of what you had, another vision comes to you. Another kind of mind-altering, sweeping perception-changing event happens.
I clamp down on her shoulder so that I don't topple.
You're standing on a muddy riverbank, and stretched out before you is a long, long river, wide a bit. There's trees, there's a few rocks, and you seem to be standing near a campfire. You have a horse nearby, and you look down and you see your clothes are a little bit different. They're almost early colonial clothes.
These are... What is...
And you huddle near the fire for warmth because it's nighttime and it's a little cold. And there among the huddled fire, the cracks and the pops of the wood, the soft sweeping back and forth of your horse's tail, you see a creature slither its way out of the riverbank. Low and slow. And you're captivated and yet terrified by it. It holds your interest. Each one of its 3 pearlescent eyes. It comes close. And you feel it wrench down on your leg. And it bites hard into your flesh. Stasi, you see him during this vision on his leg that he leans because he needs the cane so bad. You see him falter a bit, and you have to really prop him up. It's after you come back to the present.
Oh, that was unpleasant.
Doctor, what is happening?
I have seen things. Horrible things. I think I know what they're planning. Or what they have already done. It's horrible.
What is going on?
It's in the meat.
Mr. Forsyth, you exit the door,
Yep.
raving about needing to leave.
Yep. We have to go now.
No, we have to burn it down. We have to burn the whole place down.
The meat. The meat.
They are packaging it in the meat.
That would go to almost everybody in the city.
That would go further than that, my dear. It would go nationwide. This travels all over the place. This stockyard feeds the whole country, and sometimes the whole world. We must burn it down, the whole place.
If not in the
And
war.
I'm sorry, Mr. Forsyth. If we do not live through this conflagration, well, that is just something we will have to deal with, won't it be?
He's gone mad.
Mr. Doyle, we are going to need kerosene, and a lot of it.
Possibly.
Okay.
But he has also seen what it can do.
Wait. Before we do anything, let's suss this out.
Lean against the wall.
Here, Doctor.
The wall of the
Thank
shack.
you.
Yeah.
I'll help support him.
Okay. Forsyth, I'm going to start with you. Why the hell are we running out of there like madmen?
I just hand him the notes. I can't talk about it.
He hands you a small 3 or 4 page, what looked like notes that someone took on something.
That's the diary we read
Right,
last
yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
I'll pass them on.
It's in the wall.
Well, first of all, that's obviously he's not quite right anymore. So we're not going to assume there's some kind of ancient evil in the wall. Okay? Secondly, it seems like they actually have to do something to lure this out.
I agree with that. I have seen horrible things over the last few minutes, Mr.
Probably the sacrifices like I was talking about before.
It might even have something to do with that phonograph record. Who knows? So
Yeah,
I'm
since
not
it was sitting in a room by itself.
I'm not really concerned about the thing behind the wall.
You might be.
Well, okay. Let's say, for sake of argument, there is something behind the wall.
Indeed.
If you have to lure it out, I'm not entirely worried about it.
More concern would be for those who are actually doing the luring. If you can stop them, you can stop it from coming out.
I mean,
That does make
regardless,
sense.
we have to take this cult head on. We have to deal with it. But there is something I read in there that I find very interesting. They say that they planted this thing in Grace Holden, right? They lured it out and planted this thing in Grace Holden. I'm thinking that when back in the asylum, when she said they took her baby, she wasn't talking about Sammy. She was talking about that
thing. Mm-hmm.
Because we found that molted skin underneath her bed.
Mm-hmm. And she had only half of the mark.
Right. And it's possible, if they haven't put it in anybody else, they use whatever they took from her and put it in, using that to repopulate and give it to other people. Like whoever was biting people, maybe they took that from her and put it in him.
It's them. It's not an it.
Well,
I think it's actually small.
parasites or something.
Reptiles. They look like a reptile. Only it has too many eyes. Far too many eyes. Not symmetrical, and that's not right. Nature should have two of everything. There's one or two, not three. Three is...
It's at this point, Stasi and the doctor, you notice that they have, that they seem to have opened the cabin at some point. Perhaps during the time you were helping the doctor recover from being outside, they have gone in. They have seen something has been done.
But
look,
I'm letting the two of you know that the other investigators have been inside the shack.
we have to go downstairs. There's more rooms down there. We have to see what's down there.
Yeah, we need to see what room is beyond that one with the story on it, the walls.
And then
We burn the place to the ground.
we can burn the place to the ground if that's what we decide has to happen. Now, you were saying something about they put it in the meat?
Yes. I had on the way across the field, I told Doyle, please don't ask me to explain it, Mr. Doyle, because I cannot. But I can explain anything that has happened to me over the last weekend. I had a vision. It was in the meatpacking plant. There were two men with a large bowl of some sort, but they were taking... The meat had the creatures in it. And when they were packaging it, they knew it was going out to the trucks, going out to the country, and to be consumed and implanted. We were wrong. It's not the bite. It's in the meat.
Well, it could be in the bite.
Could be in the bite too. I'm not ruling that out. But what I am saying is that we have much larger fish to fry. That seems inappropriate here. Anyway.
it would make sense to put it in something that for mass consumption. If meat, water, any number of things, but those would be some of the easiest at this point.
Look, if you're going to feed men, and these men inevitably get this symptom, you would see more of this. Doctor, have you ever heard of this?
Before this weekend? No. But if this only happened this weekend, I wouldn't have.
But it hasn't happened just this weekend.
So
it's been going on for months.
Are you saying to me, are you currently using the train of logic that it's not happening because we haven't seen it yet? That's a dangerous tactic to take in this situation, Mr. Forsyth. Extremely dangerous. We have to be sure. In a quarantine situation such as this, we have to be sure. And the only way to be sure in this case is with fire. Fire is the one universal cleanser. Kills all bacteria, kills all animals. And if it kills me, I'm sorry, But that is a sacrifice I am more than willing to make to know that the rest of the country does not have horrible lizards in sight of them.
After what I've seen, they're doing something. And whether it was on a small scale before to test things out, and now they have moved on to a larger scale or not.
Look, I'm not the only... I mean, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But we all remember the Spanish flu.
The creature I saw...
Nobody thought of anything at the beginning of that either.
And I can verify exactly how nasty that was. The creature I saw that came out of the river,
Yeah.
how long was it? What, gator-sized?
Larger? At least.
Big enough to fit a whole man's leg in its mouth?
If it wanted to, yeah.
Okay. There was another vision, Mr. Doyle, and everyone, all of you. There was a creature, and, if it is the adult version of what these are, we must hurry. Have you ever seen... have you been to the zoo? Yeah? Recently?
Yeah.
Did you see the reptile house? With the alligator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. Only with more eyes than it should have.
Mr. Forsyth, in your previous journeys south, you definitely saw what
Yes.
you have probably seen some large reptiles.
Yes.
Okay, Doc, I'm going to ask you this one time, okay?
Of course.
Where are you getting your alcohol?
Actually, a good portion of it I make myself. But it's the
Okay,
only
well,
person I
yeah,
know.
okay, so you might want to be careful because I'm not entirely certain that that's kosher.
I do believe the last thing he had was out of my flask, and I can assure you that it is top quality.
I would like to say we
Not
leave
from a
them
bathtub.
up here on these floors. We'll go downstairs and finish what we were doing because I think they need a minute.
After your bout, Doctor, you feel perfect. In fact, you probably feel even more clearer of mind.
Madam, I don't need a minute. What I need is a book of matches.
We got to go in.
A doorway.
All right?
Now, first,
So who's ever going in, let's go in. Anybody doesn't want to go in, they don't have to.
First, Doctor, wrench your mouth out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hand him the flask.
Oh, God, that tastes terrible.
Yes, it does, but it works very well.
No, I mean, what was the last thing I ate?
I don't know, but whatever it was just came back up.
Actually, I know exactly what the last thing you ate was. You all went to eat.
Oh, Chinese food.
Yep, Chinese food. Coming back up, that's got to be something.
Mugu guy fun. That's not good.
Not fun at all.
Okay, so are the two of you then, or five of you then at this point then, heading back in?
Mr.
I
Forsyth,
can't go down there.
if you don't want to go down there, if you don't even want to go in, you can stay right here and watch our backs.
I would feel better if there was someone watching watching our backs up here, as we know.
I mean, you
that we are not alone.
you got most of the hardware anyhow.
To take down anything that's going to come in and get us.
Mr. Forsyth, you are in engineering, structural engineering. Do you perhaps have any kind of explosives that maybe we know of?
I don't believe you guys need dynamite.
Yes, I have some dynamite in my pocket right here.
That's a terrible place to keep it.
We have not graduated at that level of Call of Cthulhu game where everyone backing dynamite.
I have
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
out of character. I have not seen the Star Vampires. Therefore, there is no need for dynamite.
Correct.
But no, that's not what a civil engineer does, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm not entirely certain what a civil engineer does. I'm not offense. I'm sure you have a very important job.
Mr. Forsyth, give me a power roll.
Another one. Oh God.
Yep.
Let's see how badly I fail this one.
Another power roll.
Oh, I actually made this one, and it's a excellent success. 14 out of 40.
Well, that's at least a hard success.
Yeah,
It's not a
it's not excellent.
extreme
Hard.
success. So here's what I'll say. Given that it's a hard success, if you believe that Forsyth would want to protect the people that he's gotten himself into with this, you will be able to descend the stairs.
Well, they can't. I believe Mr. Doyle can handle himself. I've seen this.
But it's not
The doctor, the ladies, not so much.
Right. So, if your character chooses to, you can put forth your force of will to make it down the stairs.
I am not happy about this one bit. I'm
stairs.
quite pale going down the stairs. But,
Okay, so for the benefit of the two people who have not been inside the house or the structure yet, house is a dirty term in this. The air in the first kind of foyer, almost, it's not really even a foyer, it's a small room. It's got a table and 2 small chairs. The air is kind of musty. It smells almost a bit like it smells a bit sulfurous. But it's not well kept. This structure looks like almost like a dirt floor type of house.
Hovel.
Yeah. You also get the sense as you guys kind of wind your way through that first room that this is a building that's had structures built around it. Rather than be renovated from the ground up, it's basically had stuff packed around it.
And ignored.
The second area as you guys go in is a bedroom. It has a bed. It has a nightstand or a table by it. And then you make kind of a bit of a right turn to go through the next door. And that's where you guys run into the source of what you believe is the source of this sulfurous smell. There's 5 barrels lined up against the wall of this next room, and they have this kind of oily, you can see the oil a bit, some sort of oily substance on top of the film in here. There are gnats and flies.
Southern students reportedly burnt.
There are gnats and flies on kind of in the air around them. You're welcome to investigate if you want. There are also chunks of something in them, some sort of fatty chunks or maybe flesh.
This was you said this was a kitchen?
It's not a kitchen. This is just another room.
Okay.
This is the third area you guys go in. It's pretty nasty in here.
Yeah.
this is also where the brick wall is.
This is where the beginning of the brick wall is, yeah.
Oh,
This is
where
good.
the barrels...
It is terrible.
The barrels are lined up against a brick wall. Yeah.
I put Vaseline or Vicks Vapor
Vicks Vapor Rub
underneath.
Sure, absolutely.
This isn't helping at all. My nose is just gooey.
There is
I pass it to Doyle.
There's a quick left as well to go through the next
Handkerchief
area.
up to the
Yeah.
mouth and just.
Does
It
anyone
wasn't
have
paper rub, it was library paste.
Does anyone have a flashlight or electric torch?
Yes, there are electric torches.
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
As you guys move into the room, you guys the guys, some of the folks who have been in before. As you move forward, you begin to see mud on the floor. So the floors in this room with the barrels, and then the next room are wood floors, and you see that they have picked up muddy footprints. In this area with the muddy footprints, you also see to your left that there's a phonograph. It's very out of place. This is where previously the other characters picked up the big phonograph record. Yep. Right?
Yeah, I'm hefting the record.
Is this a wind-up Victrola?
Yep.
I'm not taking it.
Well, it's a wind-up. It's a cranked phonograph.
Sure.
So you have to crank it up, and then the record
yeah.
turns. As you guys exit that room, you have to take an immediate right, where you see what looks like a table with a wash basin and a ton of medical tools. Tools that have been used.
What quality are they? I mean, are they good surgical quality and they've just been used, or are they old, rusty? I found these in a dumpster behind a...
They are not rusty. They are used, but not rusty. These are medical grade tools, but a quick inspection just by your collegiate eyes shows that they are not for human patients.
These are veterinarian
Yes,
tools?
they are.
Okay.
So they're much larger, and yeah.
Bundle them up.
Okay.
Are they on a cloth, or are they just on a...
They're on a cloth, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to roll them up in the cloth.
Okay.
And I'm going to... don't want to carry them with me right now.
I have some twine. We can put some
tie them
twine
up with our twine.
The actual towel that they're sitting on is not so much it's a towel, but it's backed by leather.
Okay.
So you can actually roll
it's like
up.
a rolling.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I tether it shut then if it's got a tether, and then I do put it in my bag if it's got a. I don't want someone else to grab those.
No, of course not. This is the room also, as you guys continue to go right, that has the red lamp in it. Mm-hmm. So, having looked out from the Holden house to find this room, you now put 2 and 2 together where the red light is versus where you saw it through the crack in the boards. There's the crack in the boards. And if you look out through that crack in the board, you can actually see the Holden house way across the yard.
This is the signal point.
Yeah.
This is where they would alert them.
So the muddy tracks wrap around to the right. And then when you wrap around finally to the right, you see what looks like a storm cellar door on the floor. And a bunch of muddy footprints around it.
No one has been beyond this point?
No, we've
were
been
down.
down there.
You've been down here.
Me and Miss O'Shea.
Well, I definitely say let's open it up. And is there a way that we can hold it open?
It stays open.
Yeah, since
As
a
far as
cellar
we could
trapdoor.
Yeah, it's just, if you guys bring it all the way up, you can see that there's a hook that's on the wall where it hooks to keep it open.
Then once more into the breach, dear friends.
Yeah, as before, the steps are mud, except they've had wood planks put on top of them, so they are not in any way at this point stone steps. And then, because the other characters have already seen it, but I'll ascribe to the two of you, on the underside of that cellar door, when you lift it up, or when they lift it, I'm not sure who lifts it up, it doesn't really matter. When you lift it up, you see both brown muddy handprints and red muddy handprints on the bottom of it, and they're in a somewhat staccato fashion, so there's no rhyme or reason to where they're holding it. They're just kind of all over the place.
Someone was beating on it to get out.
That's what we surmise. Yeah.
Hard enough to make the hands bleed.
Unless they were covered in blood.
Unless
That's
they
another
were-
reason.
Covered in blood already.
Either way, it does not look good.
Nope.
And I'm never going to get the taste out of my
Is
mouth
there
from
a
that
way
stench.
to latch it closed from the outside?
What do you mean?
Like, if it was closed, is there a way to keep it closed?
A latch or lock.
You can investigate it?
Yeah.
Okay. You investigate it a little bit. What you find, kind of in the front lip area, is that as you push away some of the, if you kind of get your torch down there, there's a piece of wood that, at the lip of it, comes up and over.
Okay.
And that's actually what seals the cellar door shut. And that piece of wood, when you lift it up, you realize that there is an iron rod on the back of it. So it actually puts about a pretty serious amount of weight on the door after it's closed.
That was my thought as well. I don't want to become trapped down there.
Right.
So we disable it.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
Do we have a trapdoor? Is there?
Yes, I do.
Just literally with strength rip it out.
Mr.
I'm not going to make you roll for it. I just want to know how
Yes.
you're doing
Yeah,
it.
I just don't want them somebody sealing us in here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, yeah. You
Okay.
you dismantle it, at least just one side of it, and kind of move the bar over, so there's really no way to track you down here.
We're only
At least
murder.
by the bar.
We're only murder hobos on the hardware.
Give it time. Give it time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice
so
job.
I just need a walking order for how you're
I'll
descending.
go first.
I'm going to go after Mr. Doyle. If we have to run back up the steps, I do not run very well. I'm sorry, Mr. Doyle, but you will be behind.
Don't worry, I will push you out of the way.
I understand.
I
Being a
will,
soldier, I would assume he would.
I will follow the doctor.
Okay.
Miss O'Shea
That will
will
help
go
you
in front
push
of
it.
me.
You push,
Okay.
I pull.
Right.
So you are at the end, Mr. Forsyth?
Yes.
Okay, wunderbar. I want someone at the back.
And if I tell you to get down, get down.
And boogie.
Okay.
We could only hope.
You slowly descend the steps into a strange humidity. You're going down into the ground, but you're feeling a humidity. It almost reminds you, Mr. Forsyth, of digging in the canal.
Yeah, that's a very. It was very interesting because when you would use the shovels the steam shovels to dig up, you would also catch deposits of pyrites and things like that, and they would literally crystallize as soon as they hit the open air. It's a very strange and disturbing phenomenon.
That is quite unusual, Mr. Forsyth.
Learn something new.
Are you nervous?
I grip the shotgun a little tighter.
Are you looking him over?
I look back. Yeah.
Do you have psychology?
What's that?
Do you have psychology?
I have some psychology. Yes, I do.
If you'd like to roll, you can.
I would like to roll. That is a success.
Okay, so just as a brief glance,
Yes.
Mr. Forsyth is sweating a bit. You can tell he's a little freaked out. He seems to be handling it, but you get a read on him fairly quickly that he's not comfortable down here.
That's good, Mr. Forsyth. Stay on your toes. I need you uncomfortable.
As you descend...
You too, soldier.
Shoot the doctor in the back.
No. Give it time.
Please give me a moment to get out of the way.
As you descend the steps, those of you, the three of you who have not been down here, notice something rather alarming. And it's not a heightened alarm, but it's a creeping one. And that is that the steps seem to continue to descend for some time.
We have been going down for a long time.
Into the bowels of hell.
Why would you say that, Mr. Doyle?
To your trained mind, Mr. Forsyth, you count out, roughly speaking, about 30 paces, which is about 90 feet.
90 feet. Oh, jeez. Because if you're going down, you're typically going down a foot for every foot.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're
Me so shit.
5 stories under the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they carved this out.
Okay.
There must have been
halfway
a
down.
lot
I'm
of
going to have to
people
stop for a
involved in
moment
this.
then. That's a lot on
What
my
they do
head.
with all that extra earth?
They'd have to bring it out and put it somewhere.
Not necessarily.
Oh, no,
unless
you
it
don't.
went down.
I am no engineer.
Wouldn't you like to know?
If the Egyptians could build the pyramids, then a
Yeah,
set of stairs cannot be
I
that
am
far
an
off.
engineer. Where would that earth
Go
go?
ahead, give me a roll. This is a reasonable time for you to somewhat take a breath,
I
Doctor.
need a moment, Mr. Doyle. My hip is
Of course,
on fire.
of course.
That is an 11 out of 51, sir.
Doctor,
So that's
I
an
hand you the
extreme.
flask and a cup and 3 aspirin.
Oh, thank you, wonderful.
Never leave home without them. I hope those will help.
50 what?
11 out of 51.
So it's not an extreme. It's actually, to be an extreme, it would be a 10. But that's okay. It's still a hard success. Still easily passes the challenge. What you're going to be looking for is... What you're definitely going to be looking for, you think originally, is how far it goes. And then what happens down here, how far does it empty out. But you just remember basically as you're examining the walls and you're thinking that there's at least a 4 to 5 acre muddy field behind you.
Yeah, you simply take out one bucket at a time if you're slow and patient.
And so it's possible that they dispersed all of this dirt just in the field that you crossed.
Yeah.
And it's an easy way to camouflage it.
Slow and patient or lots of manpower.
Or both.
And unlikely lots of manpower because a normal man would not countenance the things that we have seen.
All right, I am ready. We can go.
Okay.
And Stasi, the pyramids were not built by man. They were built by aliens. Don't you know that? Everyone knows that.
You can tell that it's my companion.
Aliens.
What?
What?
He's not helping his case.
Let's leave the pyramids for another game session. We'll get to that.
I think I shall speak on my companion. I think she'll have a good laugh over that one.
As you guys get to the bottom, you notice that there is a tunnel which moves forward. Miss O'Shea and Mr. Doyle, you have been, so you know where you're going, which is probably a little bit disarming for some of your compatriots. You seem to just know where you're going. The electric torches bounce kind of a bit off of the walls in here, in this hallway, and it leads down towards a kind of oval-shaped room that they've cut out. Now, this oval-shaped room that they've cut out is, it's probably got a 10 or so foot ceiling. It's big enough to house a 7-foot-long table. And on this table, for those of you who have not been down here, you see 4 posts which come higher than the table's actual table itself. And the 4 posts at each of the corners have rings. These iron rings, and on these iron rings there are lengths of rope.
Why does that not bode well?
This is the cutting area.
Splayed about the room on the walls are some sort of pictograph, some sort of writing, some sort of etching.
I examined those.
What was the story that it told?
Oh, yes. So if you start from this side and move over this way, it tells you the story of creation, and that the serpent is the one that created all beings and all manners of creature and life.
That's certainly what the devil would have you believe.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what all religions have you believe.
And then some of these symbols are similar to the papers that we have found, and some of the etchings on the record and everything else.
As you look around the room, the etchings go from floor to ceiling.
My God. What this must have taken to get this done.
10 foot tall. How did they do the top?
Ladder. Scaffolding.
Yeah, well, I suppose I would have noticed the dirt.
And keep in mind that they're just etched into mud.
Oh.
Right? So think of them like cave paintings in the sense that it's not like there's poured gold in them or anything.
Right.
They're definitely indented into the surface.
Okay.
But it's not like...
Could have dug it in with sticks.
Right.
They could have stood on the backs of
This isn't the pyramids here, right?
Right.
So it's very rustic in that sense. I think that's the word.
Mr. Forsyth, is this place structurally sound?
Is this place structurally sound?
Give me a roll.
If it was built by magic, standing in a death trap.
I'm looking for another
No.
visit.
Start with him.
I have no clue.
He already was going to be down.
86.
You don't think there's a problem?
I mean, they've obviously been down here.
Yep.
Is there another door or exit?
Yes.
There is
And
a
that's
path. There is
where
a
we haven't
pathway
been.
out.
I make my way to the door.
Yeah.
It's not a door actually.
Oh,
It's just an archway. It's a tunnelway basically.
Yeah, we had
So there's
made
a
it
tunnel
that
out.
way.
If you're going to proceed down that path.
absolutely.
Okay.
We have a rogue to check for traps.
You're not a rogue.
Or a bard to throw
We're
forward.
not checking for traps. Now, you could try to spot hidden objects here or things that are potentially being hidden, but that's totally up to you.
I'm going to give a spot hidden to the hallway.
Okay.
I have no
I'm going
reason
to give
actually
one to
think
the
there's
room.
Okay.
28 under 45. The doctor's eyes are terrifyingly peeled.
Nope, just missed.
Okay.
I'm not spending luck on that.
Doctor, the hallway doesn't seem to be, it doesn't seem to be, you don't see anything that screams, hey, look out for that, or you don't see any, I don't know,
Success.
crazy tension wire in the floor. You don't really see anything either.
Yeah, I have no reason to assume, to suspect that there's a trap here.
Yeah.
What you do get from this tunnel is a bit of a wind. So it goes left for a little while, and it probably goes then back right for a little while, and then back left again.
Would you say it's a serpentine pattern?
You could say that.
Yeah.
We are in the belly.
Those are not uncommon, Mr. Doyle. Many ancient Western castles also have those. There were ways for the nobles to escape.
Considering what the pictures that we just saw on the walls, it seems to make even more meaning.
This hallway is serpentine, and many castles do have this. But if this is a castle, then I am Mickey Mouse.
I would like to know who Donald Duck is at the end of this
I
one.
Let's
chuckle.
be careful. Let's be careful.
I chuckle at Mr. Feisty so he knows that I'm kidding.
I don't want to infringe on any rights that maybe you.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're good. It's fine.
All I can All I will note, Doctor, is that one explanation is not terrifying, and the other is. So I will choose the one that is not terrifying for now.
Good choice.
This winding path, this winding hall tunnel comes to an end in the form of a iron gate that's been put up. Beyond the gate, there is a space. It's hard to see with your torch. It looks like whatever's beyond it definitely goes at least 20 or so feet. There might be something as you look through the gate to the right. It's hard to see. It looks like there's a much larger space beyond that. But this gate is definitely locked.
What's it locked with?
A padlock.
Now you just break it off.
Can't you pick it?
Well, I can, but
You pick everything else.
Yeah. Use your magic, yo.
He's run out of plaques to put on things.
that's a success.
It's like once
You
a game.
almost sound disappointed.
It's like once a game he gets a lock to pick, it seems like.
And you know what's funny? It's like my locksmith isn't even that high a skill, but I make it every
I
time.
hope you're keeping that box checked.
Oh yeah, it's checked.
Mr.
But I can
Doyle,
only check it once. So.
Yeah, until we do the
Mr. Doyle, you know how to pick locks? I'm ashamed of surprised.
No, I don't.
I mean, because you haven't seen that a half dozen times already.
I
Like
think he's
literally
waiting for
every
the.
game.
I think he's waiting for the moment when he actually does it. He can break something down.
Okay.
Right.
You pick the padlock.
Well, hopefully there's not a bloodthirsty monster behind this iron gate. I swing it open.
You take the padlock.
Thanks
off.
for the foreshadowing.
The iron latch comes loose, and there's a definite whine from the metal as you move it across. And the gate swings open. There's a definite creak, bit of a whine from the gate. And then if you'd like to proceed, you're allowed to.
Do I hear anything?
No.
Okay. I'll step in the room.
What's your power, Mr. Doyle?
50.
So next, technically in line, would be James if we're still, or Mr. Dr. Tattenbach if we're still adhering to the aforementioned lineup.
I assume.
Okay.
Yeah. I enter right after Mr. Doyle.
Very good. Your power, sir.
65.
Okay. Great. Not that matters.
No.
Does the light from our flashlights reveal anything before we step through?
It does. It actually reveals, like as you have an electric torch,
Right.
So when you get in, I'm assuming that you look left a bit, but probably look right just because it's further down.
Right.
You have more to look at.
Before I step through.
There's quite a bit of distance, and your flashlight does not end at a wall.
That was a big room.
Now, is this a room or more like a cave or a tunnel?
Given you're a little bit in back. So from what you can see of it, it looks like it started as a room. Maybe. At least here on the left-hand side as you're staying at the gate. If you're looking into the room on the left-hand side, it looks more like it started like another room they were going to make. But then to the right, there is definitive changes in elevation that are irregular. So they may have
Found a hole.
Mm-hmm.
I smell sulfur.
You do.
No, they found a hole like it's the pit. Now, do I see anything
You
that
haven't
would...
gone in the room yet.
Yeah, but
We'll
I'm
get
like
to you.
right there.
We'll get to you. Miss Dazzy, are you passing through the iron gate?
Use my prop.
Do you wish to go first? I look at Mr. Forsyth.
Are they just standing there like, I'm walking in?
Okay.
I don't want
Alright,
to
Maeve pushes past.
I don't want to be anywhere around here,
Okay,
madam.
so Shay, your pal.
50.
Very good.
Ladies first.
One time I wish I could say I'm no lady.
I walk in because I want to look to see if there's more, like, engraving, or, etchings into the mud or whatever.
I will step through.
All right, Miss Stasi, you're
55.
55, huh? Okay.
But I will stay very close to that entrance.
And
Just a step or two. And
yeah, and I will come in behind. I assume that you've taken the lock with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And mine is 40.
Okay. Very good.
No, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Excellent. Okay. Mr. Doyle, Doctor, you guys are probably a little bit further along in your steps. You're beginning to notice that along the sides of the wall here, left and right, the room itself, width-wise, is probably about 20 feet. It's the length of this room that is shocking. By your count at this point, the two of you have already moved 10 meters.
This doesn't seem possible, Mr. Doyle.
It's really deep.
Where would they have put all of the earth, even if they put it in the yard?
The floor is getting definitely irregular.
Well, maybe some of this isn't dug.
That's possible. Maybe this was burrowed.
The two of you that are in the front, give me a spot hidden roll.
Nope. That's under my, was it hard? So it's 18 under 22. I've got 45 total. So.
Okay. You pick it out first. On your left-hand side, you see that there is a wall sconce. It looks like a very rudimentary, maybe 18th century wall sconce. Like a torch.
Like oil?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there still a torch in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Doyle, your lighter, please.
Yeah.
See if I can light the torch.
Yeah, lights right up.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm calling shenanigans right here. What kind of doctor are you that doesn't smoke?
Smoking is terrible for you.
that's why he does drugs.
That's why I have morphine.
It's more elegant drug for a more civilized
granted,
age.
Chesterfields are flavor country, but good for the T zone.
The T zone.
You want the T zone? That's.
He meant he was lied to. For so long. Anyway, you light one up.
All right.
And those of you who are just now kind of entering the space, you get a burst of light. And you see the doctor under it. Now, it's not harsh because it's still quite a bit in front of you. And you guys have electric torches, so
Yeah.
it's not shocking, but it is...
I found something.
I'm still looking
Illuminating.
the walls
It
over
is.
and
I try to be.
You don't see any etchings in here.
looking for any. No?
Any
Nothing?
other sconces?
Yeah, across the way.
Mr. Doyle. Here.
Guess I'll move over to them.
Okay. Yeah, they seem to be lighting these. They found two. And the torches give a fair amount of light, especially including your electric ones. You have quite a bit of view now.
What are the sconces made out of? Are they metal or are they
wood.
These are old, though.
Yeah, it seems
quite
to be
old.
not quite old,
Well,
but they
still.
And they're pounded into the earth.
yeah. Wouldn't be too hard. You guys did it in all the time.
Yeah.
So
These, I think, have been here a while, which means this tunnel has been here a while, which means this operation may have been here for a while.
It would probably took quite a bit of time to actually get up and running. With all of this work, this would have taken months, at least.
This is older than months.
years?
I tap the
This has
sconce.
been very carefully planned.
Press on.
press on.
Press
Okay.
Press on.
As you continue down the cave, we'll call it a cave now, as the floor has gotten fairly irregular. As you pass down the way, you come across another set of torches. It's probably a good 10 meters from, or maybe not 10 meters, sorry, about 5 meters from the last ones you found. So if you're still carrying that torch, and you've got the one lit behind you, you come across another pair of them.
Okay. Well,
They're in much the same repair as the last ones, so it looks like they could be used.
should we take them along? More the merrier, I say. I had one to Miss O'Shea.
Miss O'Shea, you're not seeing any obvious markings specifically. You're not seeing anything that's been dug in, but you are noticing. You're actually all noticing that this tunnel system, as you continue to go further, is getting warmer and warmer. It's more humidity than it is temperature, but it's definitely the air is getting muggier.
Also, the earth is a bit warmer than the ground is a bit warmer than the air right now, given the month and.
Could it be geothermal?
What?
Well, if it's this humid, I would assume that there's a body of water nearby.
Well, there is a body of water nearby. It's the Chicago River.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact,
how far? Oh, we aren't that far from
no,
it.
not at all. The yard's actually on its one of its sides is very close to the Chicago River. Very close.
So that might be why it's humid.
I
Can we hear water?
Somehow that is not
water or
comforting.
dripping? Or?
wonder if we're underneath the river.
You don't hear any water dripping and running right
I
now.
don't want to be under the river. I really don't want to be under the river, Mr. Doyle. If we can, let's not think about that right now.
That is not comforting to think
After
about.
leaving a room with all that etching, I don't understand what purpose this would serve.
Well, it feels like this might have been here before that.
Oh, that's true.
We're going to something much older.
Like they dug this looking for this. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe.
Yeah.
You might. Mr. Forsyth, why don't you give me a roll on architecture?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the tunnel system here, this situation you're in, the only thing that you can get out of it definitively is that you know for a fact is that this portion of whatever you're in was not dug out.
No, it's natural.
Yes. This is a natural pocket.
So now the only question is, did they dig to it or did they dig from it?
That's an excellent question. Mr. Joy, you're still in the lead, so give me a spot hidden.
Oh, yeah. There's a hard.
Hard? Okay. You see up ahead, at least you're fairly certain, that you see a wall. You see an end.
Oh. I think we were at the end of this cavern.
All right. Well, I suppose that's good.
You are nearing the end of this cavern, for sure.
What is at the end?
At the end, against one of these walls, you see a large, circular stone relief. It's a big stone slab that's been put up. Now, it doesn't narrow per se, it's just on the wall. And it looks like it's being held up by quite a few heavy and thicker pieces of hemp rope. And displayed across it is what looks like just a very strange image. It's almost as if a being that has it's definitely some sort of creature. It's not a person, that's for certain. You see the etchings of a mouth. You see horns. You see 3 distinct kind of oval eyes. And then the doctor makes me a sanity roll.
Oh, yes, he does. yes, he does, Bob. 38 under 65.
Okay, so you don't lose any sanity.
I told you, it had too many eyes. Look, there, right there. It had too many eyes. 3 is too many.
Too many eyes.
You're right.
Too many eyes.
It's got 3 eyes. That is too many.
That's far too many.
The one thing we had showed almost everything had 3 eyes.
Yeah, well, that's on paper, my dear. This is in front of us, hanging there by rope. This is something I appreciate your firmness, but that has too many eyes.
Is this relief?
Yeah, against the wall. Yeah, it's
More
the
than
piece of
3
stone,
eyes.
at least from because you guys aren't right up next to it. The piece of stone looks like it's fairly thick. You'd measure
One there.
just by visual from your
Right.
angle here. You'd say it's a good, I don't know, 5-6 inches thick.
Good lord!
It's a whopper of a stone, and it's probably a good
held up with rope to what?
2 pythons. It looks like that have been hammered into the wall.
Is this what you saw,
Bring it
Doctor?
down. That
No.
looks like a larger, more angry version of what I saw, yes. That looks like the
Are
grandfather
there
of
any
what I saw.
other, like, etchings around the creature, or?
Yeah, there's a significant amount of, I'll call it pictography or pictographs. There's a significant amount of it on this back wall,
Similar to the paper.
similar to the room as well.
I bring my camera.
So it's also
You did
telling,
not.
like, the story of creation then, kind of, like with this creature?
No, this is not a creation story.
Okay.
If you'd like to examine it for a little while, you can.
I would.
You'll have to get a little closer.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
So, Shave, do you have any extra paper on you?
Yes.
Do you have a piece of charcoal?
Charcoal, I don't think I
pencil?
have. Pencil, I probably do have.
While she starts that, I start doing rubbings
Some of these.
of some of these pictograms, some of these things.
The wall here is pretty firm.
Okay.
You also notice as you're kind of close up against this wall that there is a definite smell. There's a definite sulfurous smell in this room as well.
Well, I mean, the wall would essentially be limestone, wouldn't it?
Some of it, yes. It's irregular, so some of it is limestone and some of it is... And it looks like by your kind of keen eye for it, it looks like they have hammered it into the limestone and that's what's holding up the stone. They wouldn't have been able to hammer it into mud.
You're doing
It's not
that.
strong enough.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Any cracks or exits?
No, it looks like it ends here.
All right.
Do you want me to roll a cult then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Only because the other one, I only have 1 in.
The other one.
The other
The
one.
skill that shall not be named.
Yeah, exactly.
After a few
58 and I have a 75.
Okay, get back to you. Yes, doctor.
rubbings, I also check the edge of this.
The stone?
Yeah, the edge of the stone. Is there a seam between the edge of the stone and the wall itself?
Oh, there is.
That you can get behind? Like, I put my torch near it. Is there airflow coming out of it? Or in? Is it wavering my torch flames?
Just a tad.
This is a door.
Probably
yeah,
the
for
door
the
we wanna
thing.
open.
But
No, I don't want to open it. I want to burn the whole place to the ground. I've been
Well, we
very
can't
clear
burn a
about
cave
that.
down.
Okay, so
Especially with us in it.
on the successful occult roll, looking over this, what you see is several groups of humans. So you've seen the image for the creation of humans. You saw that in the ritual room before. Mm-hmm. You see several groups of them. There's a Mesoamerican definite imagery that you see on the right-hand side. You see them, what they appear to be praising this type of bird. Now, could that be Quetzalcoatl? Maybe. You're somewhat familiar with that as far as your occult readings go. Could it be this other being? Maybe. But you also see interpretations of a snake from Egypt, interpretations of a snake from Sumerian culture, which you're somewhat familiar with, and even as far as the Far East. But there is a definite theme to all of these pictographs, and that is these humans in each one of these reliefs offering praise and thanks to these different iterations of this snake.
I don't like this at all. But pry bar? Can I get that behind the...
Pry bar in both hands?
Yeah.
So where's the torch and or the electric torch?
I shall hold for you.
I hold her the fire torch. I don't have an electric torch.
Stasi will take the light and hold it. And I must admit, Doctor,
Boy,
Can we just cut it down?
probably.
I mean,
Where would we put it?
pry.
Okay.
No, I mean literally. We have to get back through here.
Can I just throw this out here? Just, the things that we have come across, the things that, should not be or whatever. So, you're talking about a doorway behind a slab that depicts their god.
Yeah.
What, not thinking he's not behind there?
Yes.
So you think there's a god behind here?
Well, I think there's a creature behind there.
Everyone make me listen rules.
Liston? Do I even have Liston? No, I don't.
42 under 50.
Oh, that's a big old fat
No.
fail.
Nope.
Like that. That's great.
That's a 1.
Really? How wonderful for you.
Am I? Are you going to burst my sanity cherry finally?
We'll take care of
No. You're doing that all on your own.
it. My dear doctor, you begin to hear music. You hear just a slight bit of jazz music. You feel a bit of a strange kind of feeling in your bones. There's almost a bit of a ragtime beat to it a bit. You suddenly hear it. Miss Stasi, you are overcome with the sensation that beautiful music is playing. And there is this kind of eruption within your body of ecstasy. It's joyous. It's a jazz club at the height of its power, and it's burbling up from inside you. And you hear this wonderful, wondrous music.
Do you hear that?
And it kind of takes control of you a little bit.
What?
And you get you get flush. Like you're happy all of a sudden.
And all I want is for James to say, "What is that melody?" in voice.
What is that melody? That's
Yes. Thank you.
I just look at Doyle like,
That's not bad. That's kind of a...
Doctor,
I hear
you want to dance?
That's nice.
You must dance with me.
I can't dance, my dear.
Oh,
But
you
that's-
must.
I will
Come
tap my
with me.
toes.
You must dance with me. We cannot. Come on. You
Doctor,
must
all of a
dance.
sudden your hip feels fine.
I will. Fine. I will cut you out with me for one moment.
Stop.
I spin her around.
You're gonna slap him?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not hard. I'm assuming not with the intent to do damage.
No.
Justin.
You come out of it for a second.
Justin.
And suddenly your hip hurts.
Oh, son of... Oh, I'm sorry, Liebchen. It's not a all the dancing I will be doing.
I'm off doing the Charleston.
Yeah, you're
I will shake Stasi.
What are you doing?
Firing a gunshot.
Bang!
Oh no!
The gunshot reverberates around the tunnel. Yeah.
My tinnitus.
They didn't know we were here before.
The gunshot kind of echoes for a bit, and you come out of the dance because something has kind of shocked your system a little bit. It's at that point you all hear the music.
really?
You hear this raucous ragtime played.
Is it coming past the slab?
No, it's coming from behind you.
Oh.
Record when I fire it. I'm firing it at about here.
I'm like, do I have the record still in my bag?
You sure do.
I'm gonna like slowly turn around.
The music gets louder. And you feel the ground beneath your feet tremble a bit.
We went to the right.
There wasn't really anywhere to go turn to the left.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that.
There was no left option, it was only right.
But the sound is coming from...
The music itself is coming from back the way you came, but the rumbling itself is happening right where you're standing.
They're calling it.
I have the record.
Maybe
You can make more than one record, Liebchen.
I can't imagine that there's too many of these records floating around.
Even if there's two.
And why would they bring a second record with them?
When they would think that the record was there. Just saying.
Haven't you ever heard of backing up your music files?
No.
What if it's not the record?
Mr. Doyle, give me a no roll.
No.
To say no?
No, like a knowledge roll.
Oh, damn it.
Just
It's a stat roll. It should be up at the top.
education.
Education.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry, it's the old editions coming back.
Hard.
You're a hard man.
That's right.
Your brain snaps its fingers. The phonograph in the Holden house had a record on it.
Damn it.
And we did not grab it.
Well, you didn't know about it.
No, I did not.
Oh, well. That's not good.
The stone on the wall shakes.
I start booking, because I already told them there was something behind there. I'm running out.
Yeah, usher them back up the hallway and hurry as
5
fast
lights.
as I can.
5 bright torchlights come down from the path you came. And you hear a voice high in the air say, "Good evening. We've been waiting for you." And that's where we'll close tonight. And so we'll be back next week, and we'll see what the investigators choose to do, which path they choose to take in this round. Okay. All right.